Edith's Tea Party by Lois Walters. Edith was a little girl who was just learning to write. Her mother told her one day that she could have a tea party on the next Tuesday, if the weather was fine, and that she could invite her little friend Helen, who lived on the same street, though not very far away. But she must write the letter to ask Helen to come. So Edith got up at her mother's writing desk and took some of her own writing paper and began to write. She could make the letters, but she could not spell very well. She asked her mother how to spell the words, and then she wrote them down. And this is the letter she wrote. Dear Helen, Mamma says I may ask you to come to my tea party next Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Bring your dolly. Your loving friend, Edith. Then she sealed the letter in the envelope and put a stamp on it and stood on the front piazza so as to give it to the postman herself. When Tuesday came, Edith's nurse dressed her in a fresh white frock, and Edith dressed her dolly in her best dress and went out under the tree where her nurse had set the table for two. And then she sat in a chair at the table and waited. But the big town clock struck 4, and no Helen came. And then she waited for half an hour longer. Then Edith put her dolly down on the chair and went in the house to find her mother. Mamma, she said, I think Helen is very rude. She doesn't come to my party, and I invited her. Just wait a little longer, dear, said her mother, and she will come. Maybe her nurse was busy dressing Helen's little sister and brother, and couldn't get her ready in time. But I invited her, was all Edith could say. But I invited her, and she doesn't come. Then her mother went to the telephone and called up Helen's mother. In a moment she came back. Edith, dear, she said, what day did you write Helen to come? Her mother says she thought it was to be Thursday, and so did Helen, and this is only Tuesday. But I did say Tuesday, Mamma, said Edith, who was almost ready to cry. I remember because that was the hardest word to spell, and I think I made a blot when I wrote it. Well, never mind, dear. Helen is getting ready now and will be over in a few minutes, said her mamma. And Edith was very happy and ran out to the tea table under the trees with her doll to wait. But she did not have to wait very long this time, for in a little while Helen came running across the lawn carrying her doll. And so happy were both little girls that Edith forgot all about the long time she had been waiting for Helen to come. Helen wanted Edith to know that she had not been rude in staying away, so she brought with her the letter Edith had sent her, so she could show it to Edith. And there, sure enough, the word Tuesday was written so badly that it looked more like Thursday, and that was why Helen did not think she was expected on this day. Well, the very first thing they did was to undress their dolls and put them to sleep under one of the bushes on the lawn, in the shade, so that the sun would not hurt their eyes, and so that the wax would not be melted from their cheeks. Edith put her napkin over both dolls for a comforter, for you never know when it will blow up cold, and little girls have to be careful of their dolls, as their own mothers are. Very soon the maid came out with cookies and lady fingers and make-believe tea, and another napkin to take the place of the one Edith had put over the dolls, and they had tea. Then the two little girls and Edith's nurse had a nice game of croquet, and they had a lovely tea party after all, and Edith forgot all about waiting so long for Helen to come. But Edith never again made a mistake when she spelled Tuesday.